Hi everybody and welcome to part 3 of our dog portrait tutorials, and I'm working in collaboration with Keith, the Healthy Living, and I'm Victoria Alderson, and my videographer is Eloise Alderson. So today we're going to be doing the final part of our dog portrait and completing Bo, so it's really exciting. I've really enjoyed watching everybody's portraits so far. You've done some really beautiful work. Everybody's eyes are so sparkly and lovely, so well done everybody. So let's get this one done. Okay, Lulu? So we're gonna film in landscape today. We've remembered Tom eventually, and hopefully that you'll be able to see it a little bit better. So I've got my picture of Bo up on Eloise's phone. And we're just going to start filling in the rest of Bo's head now. So I'm going to go with just a yellow ochre. So I'm going to go with the lighter tone that I can see underneath the dog's fur, and then add the darker tone so I can see burnt sienna there. Okay, and then I'm going to start trying to blend as well a little bit more in with what we've done before. Okay, and always going in that direction of the fur, and I'm using a number 6 still. So I've done quite a little portrait of Bo. So usually I work in A3 size portraits. So I've done a little one of him, trying to keep all these tutorials small so they don't feel too overwhelming. So I put like a little light wash of yellow ochre on there, okay? Because what I don't want is, I don't want to just keep doing all these little bits of fur. When his fur was longer, that's fine, but when it's shorter, this shorter hair now, it'd just be nicer just to be a little bit freer with the watercolour, I think. That's how I interpret it anyway. So I'm just identifying this side of Bo's nose, and I'm just doing this very light wash. And then I'm going to try and work within that and get all these other colours blending in, and like I say, not doing all these individual pieces of fur now. So everybody that's doing the Labradors and things, this should be quite useful for you. Looks like I put far too much pigment on there, but it's fine. So I'm just loosening that up, and I've moved on to a number 8 brush now. So just a light wash there. And then because that paint had a long time to dry, we did that a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? It will bleed, but it shouldn't bleed that much, okay? So now I'm just going to go in and get some of my darker colour that I can see. And the darker colour I can see is burnt sienna. So I'm just going to start putting that little bit of expression in. She's got a little line there. And then up here, just want to get this exactly right. Up across his eyebrows. Can you see all right there, Lou?
Yeah.
And a little bit there. And hopefully this will all bleed. See, it's all bleeding now. And if it doesn't, you can just, help it along a little bit. And he's got this line that comes, this crease here. And it really is quite orange coloured. I think of him as the colour of peanut butter. What do you think of him, Lou?
Yeah, probably peanut butter as well.
And he loves peanut butter, doesn't he? So just softly bringing that. And I know that we're a little bit darker there because we've got to be, because the light's not much light hitting, so I'm just going to add that. So we've got that soft bleeding there. And I'm just going to move, because once we do a little bit more delicate work, so I'm just going to move back to a size 6 brush, and I'm going with a bit of raw umber because I just want to bring out some of these more browny tones, but not too dark. So I'm just adding those and just seeing how they work in, seeing how much I need to play around with them really. That's funny, Lou. Just adding a little bit more intensity of my burnt sienna here for this line that Bo's got, which you should all be able to see on your photos that I posted to you. Just intensify that as well. Much more intense down here. Okay, and then I want to blend his eye with the rest of his fur up here. So I'm just going to get a little bit of raw umber, and I'm just hoping that yellow ochre is still wet, and I'm just going to blend that now. It's got this little heart shape going on. Start softening that off because some of it wasn't wet, so it hasn't blended. So I'm just softening, just helping it along a bit. And I'm blending into the blue that we put on last week. So just those hints of blue showing like that. And then over his eyebrow, he's got quite a bulge of an eyebrow there. So I'm just going to lift that out and make that shape a little bit clearer of his eyelid. So all these contours start coming out now. And then you can, take some out and then add some more. It's just about softly putting the colour on and then fiddling around with it. When you were all talking about getting, all the colours becoming muddied, I think that's okay when you're doing fur. Not so much on when you're doing skin, portraiture, human portraiture, but with the fur it's all good. So we've got this, it really is dark coming down here, so I'm just seeing that now, so I'm just going to get some of my burnt umber and I'm just going to intensify around Beau's eye. Just so it feels like it's inset in his head, because otherwise it will just feel like it's floating. So we really need to deepen that socket that he's sitting in, and that'll be the same for all the doggies. Just deepen that off, running out there, and then we have a little highlight of the yellow again. There he is. He's been bothered by the wind today. We're doing this on Saturday. It's very, very windy. I'm just going to go in with some of my raw umber, and I just want to make this feel a little bit more believable. So I'm just adding a little bit more there, just from this crease, this little flick he's got. Just and the thing is with it, get your colour on, move on to another bit and then come back to it. And if it doesn't feel right, you can tweak it. I mean, you may at this point want to have a look at your dog's forehead. So we know that the light's hitting, so if you feel that it's not light enough, we want to get that shape of his forehead, then this is the time now just to lift a little bit out, just to softly brush out on his forehead, okay? So that is just a little bit lighter. Just reducing the tone there will make such a difference. So that's looking lovely. Just feel that line's a little bit too harsh, a little bit too strong, so I'm just softening it with a moist brush, just taking a little bit of that out. Then I'll move on to the other side. A little bit more raw umber here, just for this bridge of his nose, just to let that bleed in, so it all just feels equal. Okay, so I'm just going to move across his nose now, so I'm going to go with a bigger brush again. Then with my yellow ochre, my wash, so I'm choosing the lighter colour I can see in the doggy. So if you were doing a black lab, then maybe you choose an indigo wash to do to put on first, and then go over with your Payne's grey or the browns or whatever else, what other colours you can see. Oh, Beau, you. Okay. That shouldn't be that colour at all. I've smudged out some Payne's grey there and it shouldn't be there. So I'm just going to lift that out with a little brush. Just a little mistake there. So I'll have to just rejig that eye, the edge of that eye, but it's fine. Right, so I'm just going to get some little bit of raw umber. And then as we're going down this side of the nose, it's a little bit darker, isn't it? Just a little bit darker there. And then here on Beau's eye, coming up. And then here, this is going to give him his expression. You see these little eyebrows of his. And we just want that to bleed in. I'm just going with my finer brush now, just to help those colours along. So I just want to, a little bit more over his eyelid, just a little bit more of that burnt umber that I can see. So as you're painting your dog, you'll just get so used to the colours that you can see in your dog ears. I don't want to come out too far with that nose, so I'm not sure exactly how far that should come out, so I'm just going to leave that like that for now. I'm just going to rectify that problem, that mistake that I made here with a little bit of yellow ochre. Okay, and I'll have to leave that and come back for that in a minute, because otherwise I'll mess that up. So, moist brush again, and the colour that I put on, I'm just going to bring it this way, the direction is first going. See how it really helps if you've got a very, very good photograph of your dog. The difference it makes is unbelievable. Okay. I'm just having a look at this nose now as well, just trying to make sense of all these bits so they all flow together. And I'm just going to get a little bit more raw umber just for around this nose now. I'm just going to leave that bit out there because we've got a bit of light happening there, which I don't want to lose. So yeah, so putting your colours on and just looking back on it and just seeing where that light is, you know, to give you the shape of that, the doggy's face is so important. So important to get your tones right, much more important to get your tones right than your colours right. Okay, so I just want this to be a lot lighter here, so I'm just lifting this out here. I'm just going to use my bit of cloth. A bit more water now. And then here as well, just want that to be quite light, so I'm just going to scrub a bit of that away where that light's hitting Bo. And just help it off there. Okay, and I'm just going to rectify that little mistake I made with his eye. Just pop that back in. That sounds revolting, doesn't it? Pop that back in. You know what I mean? Okay, maybe just add a little bit more depth over here. And so I'm just popping some Payne's Grey on now, just to make that eye just really feel like it's inset, just to give him that expression. I just want to make sure I've got the shape of his eye right. It comes up and down like that. This lovely black eyeliner that it's got. Okay, and then I can just see I need to have a bit more light here. I'm just removing that paint. And then just softening this off as well. This line that I've got in here. Oh, there he goes again. I think he's listening to the dog barking outside. Okay. So I'm going to leave that for now. I can see lots of bits that I need to tweak on it. But I think I'll just put a little bit more raw umber here. Just to warm that up a bit as we're coming down his nose. And then what I'll do is we'll come back to that. We'll do the rest of it and come back to it and see what we need to tweak with the rest of that. So we're going to move on with the rest of his fur now. So I'm really going to be a lot more free with the rest of him. So we're going to, Bo has got, all these different colours. I mean, I represented the grey in him with the blue. So I'm going to continue with that and some yellow ochre, but really be very, very free with this now. But also be careful that you don't, if you're mixing your blue and your yellow, that we don't get green, really. Okay, so I'm just going to have a little look at what's happening around his, just want to get that right. So I've got some yellow ochre. What time are we on now, Lou? How are we doing?
We've done 18 minutes.
Okay, quite good then.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be a lot freer now. But I hope doing around the nose has given you an idea of how you can do a short-haired dog. So you don't need to do all these individual pieces of fur at all. You can be so much freer and just let the watercolours bleed. So what I've done with Bo as well, because this is a picture of him sitting, and what I did was I merged the two actually. I did a picture of him, the close-up of him sitting, but then I've done him as a standing dog. So I'll just find the other picture, so I know exactly where I am with him. So just he wasn't filling it off the page. I think he must be the noisiest dog in MC, do you, Lou?
Probably.
So I'm just putting a little bit of orange in there, a little bit of burnt sienna. so much stronger of a tone just under here. I'm just going to get a stronger tone of the yellow actually. So we've got that highlight hitting, but actually it's a lot stronger yellow coming up here. And if you put it over the orange, then it will just blend nicely. Just lifting, I don't want it to get too dark up there. And I'm just lifting that out there. It's funny how your phone does that, Lou. The picture moves off the screen and comes back on. That's starting to come out. There's quite a funny thing happening here, where the way that the fur folds. It goes up like that and then comes down. Okay, I'll just do across there, and I'm going to find you the picture that I took of him standing. It's a lot lighter on this other side, so I'm just going with the lightest tone of my yellow ochre. So it's like sunshine hitting over there, isn't it? A lot of light, almost white actually. Just the lightest of washes. You're doing all right there, darling.
Mhm.
So you can see there's a little bit at the side of his nose which I haven't drawn in, just that. It goes round to there. So there. That comes out. And that's too strong. I'm just going to soften it off a bit. You see here now, I can start getting all this lovely bleeding happening. How lovely that looks. So I'm going to put some burnt sienna in now just to get that intensity just coming from there. Just allowing that to bleed. It's not being afraid of the colour, but sort of using the side of my brush actually to put that on. I'm just going to get a little bit of raw umber in there as well. Just again using the side of my brush. Just add a few of those hairs, but not being really precious about it like we were with the with his face. Like that. And I'm just going to get some of the indigo blue that we used just for the tips of his fur before it all dries. Let's have a look, see how I did that yet. So I'm just trying to, I was looking back then because I just want to try and be consistent. I can see I've used quite a lot of brown actually up there and not as much blue, so I'm just thinking, oh, I better put a bit of brown in, just try and be consistent with it, don't move around with the colours too much. But you can see when I'm doing that wet how it's just bleeding in nicely and looking like his fur there, really lovely. I'm not sure why I did so much brown up there actually. I'm just going to take a little bit of that out, I don't like that when I'm looking at it. think I'll just put a little bit extra blue in, just to make it feel like it's connected. There, that's a bit better. But I can tweak around with all these bits. He's starting to come to life. He's looking a lot more colourful now, isn't he?
Yeah.
What do you think, Luby Lou?
He's looking really nice.
Thank you, darling. Okay, I'm just gonna get some just at the side of that nose, just so that it feels like the nose is really gonna. It's not very dark at the side of his nose coming out, but I'm just gonna make a little bit more of that because I just wanted his nose to stand out separate. See the difference that's made. Oh no, what do I do now? Okay, right. So I'm just gonna find this other picture now. Fingers crossed I can. I think it was that one.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was. Because that's his third paw. It's had 3 paws in this picture. His poor little paw sticking out. That's it. Poor little man. Okay. Just going to go back, so I'm just not happy with that. Right, just going to make a little bit, just going to put a little bit more burnt sienna just down here. See, I do make things complicated for myself, don't I? Doing
Yeah.
a sitting dog in one position and then moving to being in another position. Just want to add a little bit of that coming down. He needs a lot more depth of tone around his little mouth. Pop that on and see how it is, see how the shape is, and then I can mess around with it. Wrong colour. Okay, I'm still using raw umber. See, all the time I'm looking back at what I've done as well, just seeing where I need to tweak things. Because I don't want to be left without lines. I don't want it to feel like an illustration. I want it to feel a little bit more sophisticated than that. And if you have an outline, you've pretty much immediately got an illustration, which are lovely, but it's not what I'm going for. See how I'm just trying to identify the tones that I can see and just building them up. There's a lot more depth of tone down the side of his nose. A lot more raw umber there, just because we know the light's hitting the top of his head, so he's not going to have as much light underneath his eye or at the bottom of his snout. So I'm just applying colour, seeing if I'm getting the shapes right, and then removing where I need to, where those highlights are. So I'm putting tone on and then removing where I need to. So I just know that needs to be darker on his eye, but I've got a lot of paint on, so I'm just going to move the paint that I've got on around. And he's just got that little bit of a highlight at the side of his eye there, which I can just possibly make a bit more of. Just by lifting a bit more of that out. So you know you're going right if you've got like 100,000 different tones in your work. You know that you're on the right track. That's what we're aiming for at this point now. Just putting on, taking off, almost like we're drawing with a pencil actually. And you want to be thinking about, Lulu, can you just come in to see Bo? Want to be thinking about the fact that here there's a very light tone, there's a very light tone here. Is this tone the same as this tone? Well, it's not, is it? That is a much lighter tone. Well, it's a slightly lighter tone than this tone. So if you look at your painting, and if you're painting, just keep looking at those tones. That's all you need to start thinking about now. So if this tone is the same as that tone, you know it's not right. So you just need to, reduce that or increase that, whichever way you're going. Okay. Just going to put a little bit more. Raw umber. I'm just working in raw umber. Whenever I'm using brown now, I'm just doing raw umber and burnt sienna really. Just adding there into the light browns. Got his little eye in it. That shape's starting to come now. Okay. So again, I'm just being a lot looser with this fur that's happening down here now. But it still has tone, so you still need to be aware of what you're putting on that's dark and what you're putting on that's light. So I'm just going to go with a really, really pale wash of yellow. Just sticking to a really limited palette actually. And then I've just got this very pale wash, that's it, really pale wash, because really we're moving into the white bits of Bo. You can see even here the tones that I'm trying to create now. Some bits are darker, some bits are lighter. And I'm just scrubbing that down. And I feel that that's too dark a tone. So I'm just going to lift that out here. So it might be